Now, joining us in the studio is Chika Udensi, a systems consultant, Interpol, Nigeria. Welcome to AIT Reports.
Thanks for having me.
How will you describe the fight against corruption in recent times in Nigeria so far?
It's quite encouraging. In fact, when I saw the figures given by the chairman of EFCC, I was quite encouraged. And I commend them. The fight is on, but a lot more needs to be done, especially in the area of the judicial system. We are having difficulties in those areas.
What more can be done in the judicial system?
Well, you can see conflicting reports, conflicting judgments, conflicting orders. That is one area we must have to address in this country. It is very, very important. The area of courts of concurrent authority, giving different judgments, giving different orders. If a court, for example, as the case we have it right now, a court in Kogi gave an order. While that order is still pending, Federal High Court gave an order. Kogi High Court and Federal High Court are of concurrent authority. They're on the same level of authority. None can act as an appellate court over the order. So what we ought to do is to make sure things work properly. This chaos we have in the judiciary is unfortunate. That's an area we must have to pay attention to.
Okay, you heard the EFCC chairman on his resolution on the latest case of the anti-graft agency is handling. What do you make of it? Like, is he just paying lip service, or is it just passion, or can Nigerians cross their fingers and expect that perhaps he'll be able to do something?
I don't think he's paying lip service to anything. He's very passionate about what he's doing and what he's saying. But let me tell you my little concern there. I listened to the EFCC chairman when he gave his press conference. I listened to him very carefully. In fact, I played it over and over so I can understand exactly. I'm a systems consultant, and moreover, I'm a fellow of the Chartered Institute of Forensic and Fraud Examiners. So we look at things forensically. He said he called him personally. I do not think he ought to do that. He said he called him personally as a mark of respect for the governor. And the governor certainly will not see it as a mark of respect. When the chairman calls him, it's a mark of interest, not respect. He will not be seeing it as a mark of respect. Because when the chairman of the EFCC calls him, it is no more an IPO that is calling him. It is the head of the institution. So he is no more seeing it. In fact, it will frighten him the more than making him come to see him. And he also talked about he will resign if he is not prosecuted. That's going a little bit too far. It's going, it's become personal about it.
But in some quarters, some Nigerians are of the opinion that the anti-graft agency, the cases they are prosecuting is more of like a witch hunt for the current administration. What's your take on that?
Well, I do not think necessarily it's a witch hunt. There's nothing you can do that cannot have any form of connotation or the other. Was there no crime committed?
Of course.
If their crime was committed, you have to face the consequences. If no crime is committed, and you are being unduly bullied by the agency, maybe for whatever interest the agency has, the laws are there. The courts are there. The reign of evil over good is always temporary. It can never be permanent. So even if you bully anybody unduly, truth will certainly come out eventually. So I do not think necessarily that it is a witch hunt, a direct witch hunt. But I also heard Bello's lawyer and his aides talk about how Bello's predecessor. Well, the thing is that the effects are already there. You saw how much Olukoyede said he recovered, the chairman of EFCC, so far. Just these few months he's been there. How much he has recovered so far, over 100 billion, and still counting. The convictions he has gotten, These people have been taken to court. They're not taken to some backyard process. They are going to open court, and the allegations are going to be open. So if you did anything wrong, you are answerable to the laws of the land. If your hands are clean, you'll be exonerated. How many people have been exonerated? I saw the exoneration of Adoke, former Attorney General. He was just exonerated the other day by the courts. So the court is not a mafia area that one should be afraid of. There are some killings going on there. There are some horrible things going on there. Though we are also concerned, very much concerned, about the judiciary. I heard recently there is a summit going on how best to reposition the judiciary. That summit is very important. I hope something comes out of it. We have an enormous problem in the judiciary today. According to my very good friend and brother, Abokova, we don't more talk about what the law says. We're not talking about what the court says or what the judge says. You can see one case adjudicated by 3 different courts with 3 different judgments. Totally different. Is there no law there they are looking at? Or is they making their own judgment based on their own laws? So it is very frightening. And also, this pageant of non-obedience to court orders. It's a very big problem. The presidency, the ministers, the governors, heads of parastatals and agencies, they are not obeying court orders. Check the records. It is going to be chaotic tomorrow.
So
we're going to have
what can be done to get politically exposed individuals to comply with both the court orders and all these kinds of sanctions?
There appears to be some kind of complacency from the judiciary itself, especially where there has to be some conflicting orders. I do not know the extent to which the National Judicial Commission is doing their job. I don't intend to indict them. But my understanding is, if I'm in charge, if any judge, for that matter, by any stretch of imagination, either by an act of commission or omission, gives an order where there's an existing order against the same subject matter, that judge will not remain there as a judge. The Judicial Commission should come to a large extent, rescue this country from this extreme judicial quagmire we have found ourselves in.
And Mr. Udensi, before we go, just give us an overview or an over solution or the way forward from all this.
I've given you one. The National Judicial Commission sit up to their jobs and responsibility. And the review of our laws. One of the very, very, very horrible laws we have made in this country is to say that the president, the vice president, the governor, the deputy governor, while they are in office, can never be charged, not even investigated, for any criminal or civil matter. Criminal and civil matter. So this category of people, while they're in office, can do anything they like. They can do anything they like. They can only be charged or found culpable after they have left office. It is too late, most times. So we must have to find a continuous assessment position where those in office at any given time should be held responsible to whatever actions they take. That is what it should be. Anything to the contrary, we will keep in this back and forth when a governor has to sit in office for 8 years, commit all kinds of crime, commit all kinds of things. He cannot be arrested, he cannot be detained, he cannot be investigated even. That's what the law says, until such a time that he leaves office.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chika Udensi. Mr. Chika Udensi is a systems consultant with Interpol, Nigeria. Thank you so much for your time.
Thanks for having me.